So what's going on guys, Kadis here and welcome back to a brand new video. For today I will show you the best Lost Ark's DPS tier list in 2022. So this game in general has bunch of fun classes to play and we have a very unique variety to choose from. But the big question is which classes can actually do the highest damage by just DPS numbers and much more. So I've done a bunch of testing and here's the best tier list that you've been waiting for. And stay tuned till the end of the video, because on top of the tier list I will rank all 15 classes from the highest damage class to the lowest. So if all this sounds interesting to you, then let's get right into it. So then moving over to the first class, which is the Sorceress, and she gets to be in the S tier. So Sorceress is a typical mage class that focuses on casting spells. In PvE she has two builds, where you can have a good sustained DPS and mobility, or have a huge amount of burst but very little mobility. Then in PvP the class performs very well, she has good range on skills and can peel very well. The main issue is that if you get focused, you do not have that many tools to escape the enemy. And the hardest part about Sorceress is the decision making for both PvP and PvE. Because you lack in mobility, you have to position yourself carefully. But if you get used to this class, you will be able to do the highest damage numbers in the game. So then moving over to the second class, which I will put at the S tier, and it is the Gunslinger. So the Gunslinger is one of the hardest classes to learn for PvP and PvE. This class is similar with the Deadeye but still very different. The Gunslinger class mainly uses his rifle to do damage. He is easier to play than Deadeye and can reach full damage potential. And then lastly, in PvP, the Gunslinger is definitely an annoying class to face up against. He has a lot of utility and mobility that makes this class very strong, and if you play it right, you will do crazy amount of damage. So then moving over to the next class, which is the Deadblade, and we want to put her right next to the Gunslinger. So the Deadblade is a rogue/assassin type of class. She has great damage, good debuffs, and overall performs very good. Then in PvP she's very annoying to face up against, because she has a lot of freezing skills in her skill bar. Then in general the Deadblade is very mobile class, fairly easy to pick up and play, and most importantly with the right build you'll be able to do super high damage. And then by the way, after you're done watching this video, I have made full in-depth guides for every single class in Lost Ark. So if you're interested in the highest damage builds for each class, then just scroll through my channel and you will find exactly what you're looking for. So then for the fourth class, we have the Berserker, and he gets to be in the S tier. So the Berserker is a bit slow class that deals massive amount of damage. Generally, this class is regarded as one of the top DPS classes for solo and group content. His identity skill is a burst mode that gives him boost in power and a special skill to use. Then in PvP, the Berserker is a very strong new player killer, but then climbing in high rankings will be difficult since the Berserker is easy to outplay. So overall, this class is very easy to pick up and learn, and in PvE, if you're using one of my two builds, you'll be able to do crazy amount of AV damage, and that's about it. So then for the next class we have the Striker, and he is one of the last S tier classes. So the Striker is a fast-paced fighter class. He deals quick hits and does pretty high DPS. This class is very similar to the Wardancer, but the Striker has a bit faster playstyle and does a bit more damage. Overall, this is a great class with a nice attack speed buff for the whole team. And he has a very fun bursty playstyle as well, that deals consistent damage in PvP and PvE. So then moving over to the next one, which is the Shadowhunter, and we want to include her right next to the Striker class. So the Shadowhunter is a demon based class. In PvE she plays more like a fighter rather than assassin. She has good range on skills and damage. There are two ways to play this class. The first build focuses on demonic form, where you get a bunch of fun abilities to use, but you get a bit less damage. Or then the second build disables the demon form and you purely use your human form skills for the highest damage possible. Then in PvP, the demonic transformation makes your enemies scared of you, especially if you're playing against newer players. So overall, this is a fairly easy class to pick up and learn. The playstyle of the Shadowhunter is super fun and flashy, and most importantly, you'll be able to do a bunch of damage, and that's about it. So then moving over to the last S tier class, which is the Wardancer. So like I mentioned, the Wardancer is a fast fighter class. In PvE she deals quick hits and does pretty nice DPS. For your playstyle you have to charge orbs to deal your highest damage numbers. Most players use the no orb engraving for the easier playstyle, but it's up to you. In PvP this class is hard to master but easy to pick up. Overall the Wardancer is a great class with a nice attack speed buff for the whole team, and so much more. So then moving over to the next class, which is the Deadeye, and we want to include him right in the A tier. So Deadeye in PvE is a hard class to master, and you have to use 3 different weapons. The main DPS weapon is the shotgun. This class is very strong and you can even be top DPS if you manage everything perfectly. Issue with this class is that it's super squishy. It's very easy to get killed while using your shotgun skills. So then for PvP, this class is great. It's very mobile and annoying to play against. Overall this is a very hard class to pick up and get used to. And in hardcore PvP it will require low ping to perform to its maximum potential, and that's about it. Okay, so then for the 9th class we have the Scrapper, and we want to include her right in the A tier. So the Scrapper has 2 ways to play this class. The first build has slow but high damage skills, or then the second one is more mobile with consistent DPS but a bit lower damage overall. Both playstyles deal around the same damage in a long run. Then in PvP the class is pretty strong since it's very mobile and has good approaches. Overall this is a easy class to pick up, and the different energy bars might feel weird at the start, but it won't be too difficult to get used to. So then moving over to the next class, which is the Artillerist, and we want to put him right in the A tier. So the Artillerist is a slow gunner class. He has good damage and summons bunch of turrets that will help you in boosting your damage. This class is quite tanky yet very sluggish, so many players won't find him as fun or easy to get into. Then in PvP he can hold an area easily with his identity skill. I don't recommend to play this class for a newer player, but if you're experienced and don't mind the slow gameplay, then you should definitely try this class out. So then moving over to the next class, which is the Soulfist, and she gets to be next to the Artillerist. So the Soulfist identity is very unusual. She has 3 stages that you can put her in. Each stage makes her stronger and stronger. If you run out of mana, then you have to regenerate to full before you can cast your spells again. Then in PvP, this class is very mobile and has good engages to annoy the enemy players. Overall, this class has the strongest awakening skill in the game, and it is very good by just damage numbers themselves. So then moving over to the last A tier class, and it is the Sharpshooter. So the Sharpshooter is a bow user type of class. He uses a bird as his identity skill. If you just take a look at the raw damage numbers, this class does more damage than few other classes in this A tier, but it's only good for pure damage. Besides anything else, you can't really offer anything to your team. So by counting in the playstyle, no buffs or stagger, no real potential for the endgame, and you don't really see any top tier players using this class, so that's why it is here. Then in PvP, he's a very difficult class to fight, and your enemies always have to look out for the Sharpshooter as you have a stealth ability. So overall this is a easy class to use and has a basic playstyle with simple damage skills, and that's about it. So then moving over to one of the last classes in the game, and it is the Gunlancer, and we want to put him in the B tier. I want to straight away clarify that this is not a bad class whatsoever. It just has a very good balance between having a good damage and high survivability. And as this tier list is specifically only meant for the highest damage classes, so that's why he is in this category. So the Gunlancer is the tankiest class in the game that has a lot to offer. This class makes the PvE content very easy, because you can just face tank the boss or the mobs, which makes it very easy for your enemies to hit them from behind. Do keep in mind that this class also does good damage. It's very safe and easy class to pick up and play. So overall, if you're a solo PvE player, or if you're looking for the closest thing to a tank in Lost Ark, then this is the class for you. So then moving over to the next class, which is the Paladin, and we want to put him right next to the Gunlancer. So the Paladin is a support type of class. It has yellow and blue skills. Yellow skills activate your support abilities and the blue skills are meant for damage. As you are a support, this class is wanted in any type of endgame content. Then as well, the Paladin has the best damage boosting support skills in the game. Then in PvP he can be very annoying if played correctly. But this class is not the easiest to pick up since you have to be very quick with the supporting skills and you have to be capable of placing your support skills at the correct area. So again, I want to clarify that this is not a bad class whatsoever. But as you are a support player, you're meant to support your team and not deal damage. So as we are only looking at the damage numbers, this is why this class is in this category. So then moving over to the last and final class, which is the Bard, and she gets to be placed in the last D tier. So the Bard is a support class. She can cast shields, attack buffs and heals over time, which makes her very valuable in raids and dungeons. Then in PvP she focuses on keeping her teammates alive and buffed, while being very annoying to the enemies as well. The Bard is immobile and not an easy class as you must know the correct timing and placement of your supporting skills. But overall the Bard is a healer type of class that if you come from any other MMORPGs, this is the closest thing to a healer that you can get in Lost Ark. Again, I want to clarify that this is amazing support class that mainly focuses on supporting her teams and not doing damage. So that's why she is in this last category. So now we finally have come to the last and final part, and here you can see all the classes ranked from the highest damage to the lowest. So I want to fully explain that all classes in Lost Ark which are not in the S tier still are very good and do a lot of damage, but just not as much as other classes, by just pure damage numbers. In my opinion, if you enjoy a specific class or build, you should definitely prioritize that over some DPS numbers, because the more fun you are having while playing, the better you'll be able to play, and you will be able to outperform higher damage classes by just pure skill, and that's about it. So I really do appreciate everyone for watching guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback, or maybe you have a different idea about a class on this Lost Ark tier list, then you are feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. Like I said in the middle of the video, if you like any of these classes and if you're looking for the highest damage builds, I have made specific guides / videos for every single class. So just scroll through my channel and you will find the best build for you. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and you won't miss any more amazing content from me. With all this said, you have an amazing day and I'll catch you in my next video. So take it easy, peace.
Yo, I ain't here